He stepped onto the ice, not in front of roaring NHL crowds or beneath the glare of Stanley Cup pressure, but under the humble lights of a local barn in Newmarket. Connor McDavid, number 97, the fastest man in hockey. The pride of the Edmonton Oilers. The golden boy of Canadian ice. But this time, there was no anthem ceremony. No broadcast coverage. No playoff stakes. Just a puck, a group of beer leaguers, and the kind of Tuesday night game where the Zamboni still misses a few spots. And yet, when McDavid skated out alongside Leon Draisaitl, something extraordinary happened. Every stick on the bench dropped. Every head turned. The beer league, for one surreal night, became the center of the hockey universe. Because here were two of the best players on the planet, superstars who've torched NHL defenses and danced through playoff battles, showing up to lace 'em up with local guys who probably had work in the morning. No fanfare. No announcement. Just two legends crashing the most unlikely rink imaginable. It was the kind of moment that makes you question reality. Like spotting a Ferrari parked behind a Tim Hortons. They wore their Oilers practice jerseys, as if to say, yes, it's really us. And the players, those regular, rugged men of rec league lore, could barely believe it. But there they were. McDavid, whose blades seemed to defy gravity. Draisaitl, the silent sniper with eyes in the back of his head. Two MVPs. Two names etched into every hockey kid's dreams. And yet, they were now teammates, your teammates, in a game where no one keeps stats beyond, who's buying the first round. The puck dropped. And for a moment, the magic looked inevitable. McDavid darted into the zone like a bullet made of silk. He weaved. He cut inside. He dropped a shoulder and powered toward the net. And then, he was stopped. A stone wall from a beer league goalie wearing mismatched pads and maybe a hangover. The barn erupted. Because the unthinkable had just happened. Connor McDavid, shut down on a semi-breakaway by a guy who probably drove himself to the rink in a pickup full of hockey bags. It was perfect. No scriptwriter could have drawn it better. And then the game unfolded, not like a star-studded showcase, but like hockey always does. Messy. Fast. Unforgiving. The passes weren't always crisp. The line changes were a bit chaotic. And yet, the energy was unmatched. Every player on the ice elevated. Because when you skate with greatness, you find a little more in your legs. But this was no celebrity charity skate. This was competition. The opposing team, the underdogs of all underdogs, dug in. They played tight. They played smart. They didn't back down. And soon, the scoreboard told a wild truth. 6-2. The hometown heroes, the non-pros, the forgotten men of Tuesday night leagues, had beaten McDavid and Draisaitl. No goals from either superstar. No highlight reel passes. Just the sting of defeat, and the roar of disbelief from those who witnessed it. Videos flooded social media like a dam breaking. Clips of McDavid rushing, gliding, and somehow being contained. Still brilliant. Still blazing. But human. Fans around the world watched and blinked twice. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't AI. This was hockey's version of gods among men, being humbled. And yet, no one jeered. No one mocked. Because this wasn't about losing. This was about showing up. This was about loving the game enough to play it anywhere. Even when there are no cameras. Even when the scoreboard says you've been beaten. McDavid and Draisaitl didn't have to be there. They chose to be. And in doing so, they gave every kid in Newmarket, every weekend warrior, every washed-up winger with bad knees a moment they'll never forget. They made beer league legendary. They made ordinary feel sacred. The scoreboard may have said 6-2. But the real win was shared by all. Because hockey, at its core, is about more than stats and trophies. It's about lacing up with heart. It's about the smell of the rink. It's about camaraderie, sweat, and frozen joy. And that night, on that unassuming Canadian ice, Connor McDavid reminded the world that greatness isn't always about domination. Sometimes, it's about presence. About humility. About still showing up when you don't have to. He may have left the rink without a goal. But he left with something far greater. Respect, admiration, and the eternal bond that only true hockey lifers understand. Because when the lights go down, and the crowd files out, and the NHL